So I was saying,
You see Jupiter up here?
that gives you an idea how big Jupiter is compared to the moon in the sky with the same telescopic magnification. But that's kind of crude. You can see its cloud belts really well. It was taken with my small, it wasn't taken with my good digital camera. It was taken with a pocket Sony I had about several years ago. I put it over the telescope like this, and you see Jupiter's moons, 3 of them, like little planets themselves.
Do you guys see that in the back?
Yeah.
So on any given night, when you look at Jupiter, you see these little moons and a fourth one, which in this photo might be behind the planet, hidden, or it might be right over the top of it, hidden in its light. But from night to night, you see these moons change position dramatically. They have all 4 moons on one side one night. They could all be on the other side of the night. There could be 2 on either side. But you might only see 2, and you wonder where are the other 2, and then you look at the planet, there's this dark dot is on the planet, like somebody punched a black hole into it. It's when the moons are out of the planet, casting a shadow onto it. When you discover this accidentally, it's just stunning. And you see this shadow move after 20 minutes, you can tell it's moved partway across the planet. Within an hour or 2, the shadow's moved off the planet, and you still don't see the moon because it's over the planet, camouflage in its light. So the bright light of the little moon blends into the planet when it gets over it. You don't see it. If you magnify, you have a really good scene on some nights. The air is very still. You'll see the moon, just this bright little spot, barely visible, right over the top of the planet, moving across it. And the innermost moon, Io, goes around the planet once every 36 hours. For our moon, as everybody knows, takes about a month to go around this once. So Jupiter's moons are much more dynamic. It's the most dynamic planet we can watch in the evening sky. It's the biggest one. It has the most surface detail to watch. The big cloud belts that you can see rotating once every 9 hours or 10 hours. You can see the great red spots storming across the surface within the cloud belts. It doesn't really look like a bear. It's kind of like a mottled, kind of broken texture on those cloud belts. But to see that, there it's a little bigger now. I think you can actually see the red spot right here. I think that's what this is. On the lower cloud belt, here it's kind of red. I'm not sure this is in the way. If I move that, we'll lose it.
No.
It's this dark spot with the red spot storms in across. This is odd because this is taken with a little handheld pocket camera with a telescope. 30 years ago, with cameras like this and even big telescopes, you couldn't get detail like that. So the digital technology has done some wonderful things today. You may not realize what your iPhone cameras can do. You can hold them over a telescope and see Saturn rings. Anyway, but there's several different magnifications I use. But Jupiter here is smaller. No, it's just at the stage showing down. There's lots of other things in here.
Yeah.
But you can escape now to get out of this. It goes back. It goes back to the index. All the other ones.
Do you want to go back to the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I can even show them on YouTube where I filmed Saturn through the telescope. But I don't have to. It's in my YouTube channel.
Do you want to do that?
You want to see it?
Yeah.
Well, if they want to see it, you can show it. You can also show the sidewalk astronomy I do, which is, it's only a 6-minute film taken over the city here with people looking at the sun and their responses. But it's...
Yeah, what Mark did is he set up this telescope and recorded people's initial things that they said, first things that they said when they looked into it, and just kind of jotted them down on paper. And what did you find when you did that? Some of the reactions were interesting.
That women had the most interesting reactions compared to men. Women thought it looked like something from some internal biological thing. See what it looks like here? It looks like this, like an egg or something, like an egg yolk with veins over it. It's hard to see that here, and there's little flame structures on the edges. One lady said she thought it looked like something out of a womb.
Oh.
So, and I heard this, actually I heard this quite often from women, but a man never said that. Men said it's like a lava ball full of flames or something. Flame
Fire.
What's that?
A ring on fire.
Oh, fire, yeah, and there's, right. That's what most people saw, but I
It's like
heard.
my favorite Johnny Cash song.
Is that what it is? Oh, it's a Johnny Cash song, yeah. I never understood what that the lyrics were about. It must mean, there must be some metaphor.
It says it in the first
Does it?
line.
I'd have to listen to it again, I've never heard it.
Low.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. I forgot, I should know that. I knew that, of
I
course.
know all the words.
I heard it when I was a kid, I was young to understand it. Now I understand what it's all about. So,
Okay, so, what
if
do you call?
you just go to my YouTube channel, you'll see, you just go to YouTube, Mark Seibold, you'll bring up the channel. Everybody has their own channel now, you can all do your own reporting like the news. It's called YouTube. You set it up just like a Facebook site, it'll be a banner page. Your personal photo and all that, just like a Facebook. Yeah, just go to YouTube.
Is it just this one? class is 15 minutes long?
It's not that one. That's something else. That's the one with all the responses. You can
Okay, which one?
you can open it up.
Oh, which one is it?
It's actually on right now. It's So this is a 15-minute compilation. We're going to run a couple minutes because it runs 15 minutes long. We could listen to the whole thing.
Yes, Sequoia, that was my reaction.
You can hear people's responses like you just talked about as you look at the sun for the first time. Great guy now. Look at this one.
Mark Seibold interviewed the public while they observed the sun through the Solar Research Grid telescope on a 10,000-mile cross-country road trip from May through June 2000.
There's a lot of road noise in the background.
How would you describe this to someone who's never seen it before?
I don't know. Well, one thing is it's steam rail. Just some image of it.
How would you describe it to someone who's never seen it before?
Amazing. Beautiful. So beautiful.
How would you describe it to someone who's never seen it before?
It looks like a big egg. Yolk.
It's sketches.
Would you give a different interpretation of the sun? See if it's right?
Well, I think it gives you a better perspective of size. Because you don't ever really look at the sun. And it's hard to imagine that when you look at something little on the sun is small, and then you look at something little on the sun, you realize that it's huge.
Going on the edge? Yeah. That's awesome. How would you describe that to someone who's never seen it before? To a telescope like this?
You know how I would describe that? I would say, have you ever seen the movie Superman when the redness comes over to destroy the planet and the flaring you get on the top of the ball?
Yeah.
That's just what we're experiencing right now, except instead of being Hollywood, this is nature giving it to you.
Why is that? Really?
Really? Wow. And you can see it just faintly kind of that moving off the circle.
So what you talk about is inside that plane.
It's really amazing. Everything.
She's really intent in what she sees. It's just,
You want to keep going?
just for a few more seconds, this little girl.
On the right side here, and there's a black dot on the left side.
Another big sunspot. Big black dot you see on the left side is about the size of the Earth. The size of the planet Earth.
Yeah, and it looks really small by the, you guys used to it, it's over.
Amateur. Amateur.
Anyways, this goes on for
Yeah, it's.
quite a while. It's pretty loud.
Yeah.
It's hard to hear. It's easy to listen to. You can listen to it later. You can access it at home on your computers and listen to the whole thing. And it's kind of interesting animation I put toward the end. So there's probably, oh my gosh, almost 1,000 people over 10,000 miles for 6 weeks.
Let's look at your art a little bit.
But the art is something I didn't do until I came back from this trip. I wasn't doing this art before I did this trip.
This one's not on up there, is it?
It is. I have it here somewhere. There's similar ones to it, but I started sketching the sun, and I put my hand in the first sketches and got in trouble for doing that because they wanted to forums back east that were technical sketching forums. And you can look these up. There's a Cloudy Nights Astronomy. You can bring that one up too, if you want. You can bring up Cloudy Nights.
What is it?
I think I put the link to it in there in the PowerPoint. But, you know, check the text. Put in Cloudy Nights Astronomy. These sketch forums, astronomers from all over the world participate in these every night and day. They're sketching and sending their sketches in from what they see through the telescope. Some of them are very technical, like I guess mine are. But, there it is. It says forums in the top forums. You click forums for discussion. And so these forum lines come up, and when you scroll down about 3 blocks like that, the dark strip comes across. So it says sketching. Keep going. It's coming up here. See, when I just put this one up yesterday, right there, sketching. There's just 3 people are viewing, and mine has my name somewhere. There it is, right there. You can see people's responses to it since I put it up. Let's see what they say here. See, I get all kinds of nice responses. They're supposed to be positive, so people are almost a little too patronizing.
But explain to the students how you actually accomplished this. these
The
drawings.
artwork?
Yeah, because you're looking at the telescope as you're doing it. I don't know if they understand that.
Well, not just looking at the telescope, looking through it.
Yeah, through it.
And it takes a lot of concerted effort to sit for hours, you know, and looking at the eyepiece and then sketching all these detailed craters. Readjusting the telescope, it's a Dobsonian, you have to keep moving it as the Earth's rotation moves. The object comes out of the eyepiece, you have to keep nudging it and moving it. But if you have this one, this doesn't magnify as much, it's only a 5-inch diameter. But it's running along really from one thing to another. This is you're going to see these are very popular. A lot of people are buying these because they know they have a computer in them. And they say, well, I want one of these telescopes that does everything. And the computer tells me where to point it, or it just does it all. So, you know, you just want to find something and you put in a planet or wherever the moon and you just hit enter. It just knows where to go and find it in the sky. So it's like a robotic brain. It's not exactly the HAL computer out of 2001: Space Odyssey. It's not that smart. It works on triangulation, and you have to set it up and point to a star versus in the sky, like Polaris, North Star, and then hit enter, and then some other spot. It has like a 2-star triangulation. It knows the whole sky mapped in a computer. So then it just goes to where objects be pointed. But really, Dobson that invents these says, you know, they make these telescopes now that just know where to go, and they track everything, and they're all computerized. Well, that takes all the fun out of doing this. You have to get a real star chart out. You have to know the sky, and you have to. This is a tiny little thing. This is just a little rotational. It shows like what the stars are doing there. I think that photo down. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. I just want to show it to you. So you see what the stars are doing here? They're rotating.
You guys want to switch out now?
Over 45 minutes. If you want to, you can turn the light on.
Yeah,
this. And then you can angle it more that way if you want. Turn the whole thing. There you go. But that's what the sky is doing here. It's turning around Polaris with the star map. These are available in all bookstores now. They're usually required for astronomy courses in universities and colleges all over the world. But it's just a cheap little rotating wheel, and it shows all the stars and the constellations going around Polaris, which is what they actually do, as the time exposure shows. With a 2-hour one showing the sea coming. But this knows how to do that. It knows how to track the sky. So if you're doing sketches and you've got a really big telescope, of course, you don't have to keep moving it along. But the famous sidewalk astronomer says you should do this instead of using this. Does anybody know why? It's just kind of like spell check.
Because maybe like it's original and you want to see how they actually...
Right, and you learn the motions of the sky by doing this. You know where to find it, but you have to make the effort to find it on the star chart, and then you have to know where to point this in the sky and find everything. So this forces you to, like, kind of like writing. You've got to use your creative brain or the artwork. Well, this is taking all that away. This is kind of like, in a way, the internet, spell check. I can't think what the other examples would be. So a lot of people say, oh, I want to get into astronomy. I want to get a really nice telescope. I want one of those motorized ones that finds everything for me. That's like saying I want an automatic. I don't want to shift the gears in a car, which I like to do when I was a kid. I bought a sports car. Manual shift.
Analog versus digital.
Yeah, so I thought it was fun. I still do today. My Mercedes has got an automatic, but I can shift the gears if I want. There's no clutch. I still shift it because I think it's more fun. So that teaches you to do more. You have to learn the hard way, learn the whole sky by using this and pointing it. And in that, it teaches you other things. It's not just learning where to point a telescope in the sky, but going through this process, this intuitive process, is more tactile, like making real art by hand, rather than taking a photograph.
How about your hands?
Oh, my hands? What about my hands?
In your art.
Oh, I think I say I was left-handed. I am left-handed. Are there any left-handers? I'm not going to go into a long story about that because I think it's kind
You're
of...
left-handed also?
There's 2 left-handers in there? There's more than 2? Well, there's several. There's 3, 4 of you, yeah. Well, if you look in the history books, I'm not going to say too much about it because I'll get lost talking about it. But all the greatest artists, scientists, leaders of the world, thinkers, geniuses, high IQ people are mostly left-handers. I suppose you haven't heard why. They believe, the Norman Geschman theory in Germany, as scientists found in the early 1980s, there's high testosterone presence in some mothers' amniotic fluid 6 weeks after conception. And this suppresses the left lateral side of brain growth. The right lateral side outgrows the left at that point. That larger right brain, 6 weeks after we're conceived, causes the left-hand trait of this. So 2 left-handers are really born left-handed. You don't make